ChatGPT, chopped Italian sandwich to the max.
Based on the trending chopped Italian sandwich recipes from various sources, I've crafted an enhanced version that incorporates a range of flavors and textures while keeping the essence of what makes it so popular.
Today, we're gonna make a chopped Italian sandwich. I believe that's what it's called, and I'm excited about it. I wanna tell you though, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. We're not just doing the normal chopped Italian sandwich. We asked AI to elevate the chopped Italian sandwich, and it has done so. It gave us a chopped Italian sandwich with way more flavor and depth and blah, 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 but I'm a little depressed. I'm a combination of two things right now. A little depressed, really full. A little depressed and really full at the moment, and I'll tell you why. I just recorded this video, this same video you're watching right now, but right when I finished the video, right when I was eating a bunch of the chopped Italian sandwich, which, by the way, spoiler alert, it's stinking delicious. Right as I was like really eating my fill of chopped Italian sandwich, I hear a giant explosion. Like just insane sounding, like a bomb went off. And with that bomb that went off, the power went out. My whole house, in my whole neighborhood. In not my whole county, but a very large area of my town lost power. When the power went out, my camera's turned off. There, we need a chopped onion, guys. And it doesn't need to be chopped yet, I'm just cutting it into rounds. We need onion and we also need tomato. So the power goes out and I'm like, uh-oh, I hope that didn't mess up my footage. And sure enough, it totally destroyed my footage, just completely and utterly. I was all plugged into wall power. So anyways, I went quickly and I grabbed my computer. I'm like, man, I hope my footage is okay. And I take the SD card out and I attach it to my computer. And of course the files are all corrupted. The whole entire video, the whole entire recipe, the taste, everything is gone. And so we're starting from scratch. Now, luckily I had enough extra ingredients that I'm just gonna do it again. Now, one thing I changed, first time it called for a red onion. I don't have any red onions. I used a white onion because that's all I have. The red onion is, you know, already done and used. I did get a fancy new food weigh scale thingy from Brian Big and Fun, viewer Brian, and I used it a minute ago and it worked great, so we're gonna use that again. We got a couple more ingredients because like I said, this is an elevated chopped Italian sandwich. It's absolutely delicious. Like, I loved it. So at least there's that. I don't mind, here's why I don't even mind making it again. It's a little frustrating, but I don't mind that much. The only thing I wish you could have seen is my initial reaction and how much I was loving it. But the reason I don't mind remaking it is because it was that good. And I do think it's gonna be something I can just put in the fridge and use throughout the week. And I'm just gonna end up with extra leftovers. So let's make this thing. I do think it's worth making. See, if it had been a bad recipe, I wouldn't have remade it. So, you know it must be good if I'm willing to remake the whole thing. You want like 1/4 to 1/3 cup of pitted olives. Now, I'm not a huge olive fan, but I put them in the first time and I liked them, so I figure go ahead and do it again. You also need, let me see, 1/4 cup of roasted bell peppers, which they just sell in like a jar like this. And now these are things that are not normally in the chopped Italian sandwich. Now the chopped Italian sandwich has kind of been trending for like the last 6 to 8 months. And I haven't cooked it to this point because it just didn't seem that exciting. But now, having cooked it and tried it, I know it's good and I know it's worth making. So I'll probably make this more. I love the idea of making this like, you know, on Sunday and then having it for lunch every day for work if you had a job. I mean, I don't have a job, but I know some people do. All right, so 1/4 cup of sun-dried tomatoes, and I'm just making a mess. We also want 1/4 cup of banana peppers. I should get a fork or something, right? You're all thinking it. Probably all commenting it. Banana peppers are so good. Banana peppers are underrated in my opinion. So 1/4 cup of those as well, maybe a little more. So it says to chop all those up. I mean, we're gonna chop them up when we make the dish. So I feel like the pre-chop is totally a waste of time, and I did it last time, but I'm not gonna do it this time because I know it's all getting chopped together in a minute anyways, so it's kind of irrelevant to pre-chop it. Just set it aside. I am gonna wipe off some of this liquid that's on my cutting board because that's all from like the containers, right? Like the pickling juice or whatever oils are in the jars. I don't think I need it that oily, so clean some of that up. So anyways, all those ingredients are gonna be part of our delicious chopped Italian sandwich. Now, what you wanna do, and look, I didn't even need to look at the instructions because I just made this, you know, an hour ago. You need 2 cups of lettuce, shredded lettuce, and just spread it on the cutting board here. And then we're gonna pile our ingredients on top of it. And to start off, so I've got this little food scale. I mean, you could probably eyeball it, but I want 4 ounces of provolone cheese. That's 4.7, 4.1, there we go. And I don't think it needs to be scientific, but my concern had always been with the chopped Italian sandwich, like, is it really that different than a normal Italian? And I do love an Italian. Italians as people and as sandwiches. But no, I've always loved Italian sandwiches. It's like one of my two go-tos. If I go to like Jersey Mike's or Publix or Firehouse, I don't really go to, I wouldn't get one at Subway. I don't really like Subway. But I'll either do Italian or I'll do meatball. Those are kind of my two go-tos. And then if I'm at Publix, sometimes I get the chicken tender sub, which if you're a Publix shopper, you know what I mean. The buffalo chicken sandwich at Publix is always really good. It's like chicken tenders, buffalo sauce. But Italian's definitely up there, top 3 for me. So we just did 4 ounces of ham. Now we're gonna do 4 ounces of pepperoni. There we go. And kind of just spread it out. It's almost like we're assembling the sandwich. And when I did this last time, I was significantly more hungry. Like I said, I am not hungry at all. So I'll just tell you it's delicious. I probably won't try it again, but I promise it's good. Now, an important thing to remember, guys, if you're new to my channel, I am not a professional cook. I like to remind people of that. I'm just a guy who likes to cook and decided to record himself doing it. And I wanted to make videos that were easy to follow, that other people could like learn how to cook things if they're not pros or not like super advanced cooks, because I'm not. There's one guarantee I can offer, and that is if I can cook something, you can cook it. So we want to kind of just combine all this and then just start chopping. It is called chopped after all. We kind of want to put this all in a big ginormous pile like so, and then just chop it up. And hopefully my knife is sharp enough to do this. All right. I may recommend pre-chopping the olives because they're just scooting all over the place. You know, I'm just gonna grab some of the olives and chop them up so they stop rolling so much. All right, so our first chop is done. Let's kind of move some around and do it again. We're basically gonna just keep doing this and then keep piling it on top of itself and just keep chopping and keep chopping. Yeah, it's pretty crazy that the whole transformer, like, it sounded like a transformer exploded. And I spent probably the whole power outage time, which was probably like an hour really, trying to recover the file. And it was unrecoverable. I even resorted to downloading several questionable softwares that said they would fix the file. Then I talked to one company support. This is a lot of work. It's hard work on the shoulder, smashing it like that. So how does it get elevated is the question. So if you've watched the original chopped Italian sandwich, that's all over Instagram and TikTok and so on and so forth, you may have already noticed some big differences. But just in case you haven't, I'll tell you. In the original, there is no roasted red peppers, there is no sun-dried tomatoes, there is no olives. I think the banana peppers are in the original. You kind of need banana peppers for an Italian sandwich, right? So I think I just accidentally deleted my footage from before the power outage where I was making mac and cheese. So anyways, I'm not a professional at any of this, guys. Not at the recording aspect, not at the cooking aspect. And so therefore, it's a great channel to watch if you want to watch someone screw up. Okay, so you want a tablespoon of pesto and a 1/4 cup of mayo. In a bowl, we're gonna mix that up into a nice, delicious looking paste, and then we're gonna just plop that onto everything else. It's gonna just be part of the dish. And that's another thing that ChatGPT added when I told it to elevate the recipe. And this stuff is delicious, I can tell you from experience. But yeah, so just put that all on there. See what happened that time is my memory card over here ran out of space, and so it stopped recording. So I was like, oh, I gotta fix this camera over here. So I said, oh, let me just delete some files. So I went to delete files and I deleted footage from my mac and cheese video. So it's probably salvageable, it just won't be as good. It won't have like the close-up shot of the mac and cheese happening, but it will have my face because I know I use 2 cameras. Luckily, I don't always do that. Sometimes I don't do that, and I'm glad I did it this time. So we also want to add 3 tablespoons of zesty Italian dressing. Now, the original one that went viral was just Italian dressing. This one's zesty Italian, so minor difference there. 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. This all just piles on the cutting board. 1 and 2. We're having it Mike's way, too, because he does the red wine vinegar, right? I mean, it really is an easy recipe. We want 1 tablespoon of Italian seasoning next. I believe it's 1 tablespoon, right? Yeah. It's so easy. You're just literally piling a bunch of stuff onto your cutting board and chopping it up, which is one of the reasons I was like, yeah, I'll just remake it. I want to then add some salt and pepper. So here's a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. So I think it'd be worth trying this if you've already tried the other one and liked it. Or if you weren't willing to try it in the past, I'd say try it. I think that's pretty much it, guys. Now we just chop again. Chop, 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 chop. And mix while we're chopping. We want everything to be well coated with all these, the wet ingredients I just added. Maybe I can get Elijah to come try it. Maybe. Probably not. Chop, chop. So this is literally it, guys. We want a hoagie roll. Now you could toast a hoagie roll, although ChatGPT didn't tell us to. The other reason I was okay with remaking this is because like, I'm just gonna put it in a Tupperware and just eat it throughout the week. So I'm okay with having extra. Let me get one of my hoagie rolls. Maybe I can convince Elijah to come try it because he's never tried it. I tried it today and loved it. Okay, so Final step, guys, take a hoagie roll, cut it in half, load up your bread with it, like so. Make it nice and aggressively full. Dun, 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 dun. Chopped Italian sandwich. You wanna try it, Kelly? There it is. Look how beautiful it is. It is glorious looking. And it tastes amazing. What happens is the flavor gets all over all the meat and just really like encompasses it and makes for an excellent sandwich. I've already eaten 2 of them though. So I cannot eat any more without the risk of exploding as a human. So try this. What?
You have to at least eat 1 bite.
I'm so full, I can't eat another one.
You just eat 1 tiny bite.
Callie wants me to eat more, but I'm not doing it.
1 tiny bite.
Okay, I'm so full.
Good boy. Eh.
It's still delicious. I'm so full, but if there's something I could keep eating forever, it is this. So you need to try this. You need to try this. It's good for meal prep. It's good for just a now sandwich. I like it. If you like Italian sandwiches, another thing I recommend is check out my stromboli video on here, which is basically a pizza / Italian sandwich, and it's also delicious. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll see you next time in the AI kitchen.